You are listening to Mining Stock Education, where you'll learn from the top leaders in the natural resource sector and uncover quality mining investment opportunities.
And we're very excited for 2024. This is going to be a transitional year to profitability. The development program has estimated to elevate Prospera's production for year-end to about 3,500 barrels a day. At the same time, Prospera has been working on strategic, accretive acquisitions that diversify the product mix to more light oil. These are very good acquisition for Prospera and the shareholders. It will be accretive per share. And those things will add another 1,500 barrels a day. So we're estimating to exit, year-end exit 2024 at 5,000 barrels a day gross production.
Welcome back to MSE. I'm Bill Powers. Thanks for tuning in. In today's show, we're going to get an update from Prospera Energy, a company I've been invested in for about 19 months or so since the summer of 2022, and we'll again be covering them over the course of 2024 as a show sponsor. So Samuel David, President and CEO, welcome onto the show, as well as Chris Ludtke, the new CFO. Gentlemen, welcome onto the show again.
Good morning, Bill. How are you?
Very good. Thank you, Samuel. Could you provide us an overview? What should we expect in 2024, Samuel?
Certainly. Well, Prospera, we're very excited for that 2024 outlook. The restructured Prospera since 2021 has been executing the development phases plan that was set out. It was in three stages, three phases of a development plan that was constructed by the restructuring team in 2021. Phase one was just optimizing the low-hanging fruit and getting the company into a safe operating condition. And the second phase was transforming the fields from vertical well technology to horizontal well technology, at the same time abandoning vertical wells along the lateral path of the horizontal. And that was executed last year. And also the horizontal transformation is to prove up the remaining reserves. And further, we wanted to diversify the product mix from the heavy oil to lighter oil. So we exploited medium light oil property. Last year was a transformational year for Prospera. The results exceeded our expectations and proved that it's undrained reserves that we're accessing in the heavy oil property in between the vertical drainage area. And in Brooks, we received exceptional results from our wells that drilled and the wells that we put online. The well we drilled in Brooks, it was close to 500 barrels a day. And now it's on pump and it's doing 300 barrels a day. And we also constructed that lease as well. It really sets up the stage for 2024. So it was a transformational year. 2021-22 was we were conducting our restructured development phases to bring it to safe operating conditions. Last year was a very transformational year, moving up our technical aspect of it, and also the economic side of as well, financial parameters. And we're very excited for 2024. This is going to be a transitional year to profitability.
Year-end exiting goals for 2024, Sam, can you give us kind of some guidance in that regard?
Sure. One of the things Prospera has done is the team could execute, as we executed 9 or 10 wells last year, and we're able to tie it in fairly quickly. And now we're optimizing all of those wells. And we're taking a step back and review everything and prepare for our summer drilling program. Last year, we wanted to do the summer drilling program early, but we started a little late due to a lot of permits and construction and all of that. And we have gone through all those hoops. So we are preparing everything currently now. So we could start right July 1st, whenever the breakup weather permits. We'll be ready with all the services, permits, licenses, and et cetera, et cetera. And the development program has estimated to elevate Prospera's production for year-end to about 3,500 barrels a day. At the same time, Prospera has been working on strategic, accretive acquisitions that diversify the product mix to more light oil. And these are very good acquisition for Prospera and the shareholders. I think it'll be accretive per share. And those things will add another 1,500 barrels a day. So we're estimating to exit year-end exit 2024 at 5,000 barrels a day gross production.
Gross. And then net to you, what would be the net of that?
That's a good question, because the net arena is kind of changing now. The net is we're approaching almost gross as we're settling out with some of the partners that are receivable. And we're hoping to be near 90 plus working interest, if not 100% working interest by year end.
Chris, is there anything more you want to elaborate on that in terms of buying out completely some of your partners to get to that place?
No, at this point in time, there's some ongoing discussions with partners to be able to consolidate the working interest of the assets that are currently owned. We'll provide more details to the market as those finalized, Bill.
Okay, Sam, so to get to that production goal with your own development, how many specific leases or permits do you have in place that you'll be able to drill come July 1st?
Oh, I will be totally prepared for the full program by the summer, because some of these leases it's existing leases, especially in Saskatchewan. These are all existing lease. And, we've drilled 9 or 10 wells already. And so there's a routineness with the team, with the regulator, and with the landowners and the service providers. So there's harmony, and they're ready to go. We are delineating the technical side a little bit more. We're refining it because we had more learnings doing in phases of development. And we think we can further improve our technical results and also economic results as well.
Okay. And then just for those that are maybe newer to the story, potential locations for drilling on all your land, can you just give an idea of the potential of future drilling if you pursue it?
There's 3 core fields in Saskatchewan, and it's a horizontal transformation. And we only began in one of the fields, and we're going to launch a couple of pilots in the other 2 fields as well. Overall, I think we're looking at another 20 plus wells over the summer in Saskatchewan, and 5 to 8 wells in the Brooks as well.
Okay. In the current program, do you still have 2 drills turning right now at Cuthbert 1 and Brooks 1? What's the status of the current drilling?
We paused all the drilling for now. We always do this. We pause and review what we have done, and we catch up with everybody. And also the price, as I mentioned earlier in the year or towards the end of Christmas, that commodity price outlook was looking a little bleak as the differential was expanding. But it seems like that will start shrinking here into the second quarter, which is in alignment with our development program.
And so how many did we end up drilling at Brooks? Was it just 2 we ended up drilling this
we drilled 1, and we put on another well. We reperfed another well. So we got 2 wells that are producing right now.
Okay. And then so drilling is stopped until approximately July 1st then. Is that a good expectation?
That's right. I think, it is far more economical. And also the wells we drilled, since the results was exceptional, but it's all based on 3D seismic and well control. And, we perfed 2 or 3 wells now, so we know what the parameters look like for a producing well. And that is being looked at. There's a lot of preparation goes into it so that we do not have results that we didn't anticipate. So we really work on the parameters that proves up, and we have some wells now, well control, that is producing exceptionally well, and we're going to use those parameters to delineate the entire fairway or nearby fairway, and we'll keep expanding. It looks very, very exciting for Brooks. I mean, the fairway is long, I think, and there's longevity in drilling a lot more wells, but we'll do in phases. This 5 will prove up another 10, and another 10 could prove up at 20. And also we're developing these pools with enhanced recovery and support, so we don't have just primary depletion. So it's a full-scale reservoir management that Prospera team executes.
Chris, could you talk about the economics in terms of your production costs and netback if you're successful building out your current development to 3,500 barrels per day this year?
Yeah, definitely, Bill. I mean, with a pretty strong commodity outlook for 2024, we're starting to see differentials improving. Sam mentioned that things are a bit, we had some pretty wide differential, heavy to light differential in December, improving in January. We see that further improving as the Trans Mountain pipeline comes on, which is now scheduled to begin line fill. It sounds like in about April. So we should see pricing for heavy oils improve through that time. And as demand increases for heavy oil with asphalt and so on, we should see continued improvement through the summer. The Opex associated with both the horizontal and the Brooks development program is also looking fairly attractive for us. So we're seeing operating expenses, which include Opex and royalties, but roughly about $30 on the Brooks asset and $35 on the heavy oil asset. So what that equates to is roughly about $50 a barrel for the Brooks production and about $35 a barrel for the horizontal production.
Canadian dollars, just to clarify.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, and so all of that is expected to add considerable cash flow. And when we look at it on a per well basis, and then that isolates things a little bit. I mean, we typically look at the field overall, but on a per well basis, we're seeing paybacks between roughly about 6 months on the Brooks side and 9 months on the heavy oil side, which is very attractive.
And that's at $75 WTI, approximately?
Yeah, a little bit less, yeah.
Bill, I'd like to give some context to the heavy oil 9 months and 6 months for Brooks. It's an initial payout, but the thing is, the Cuthbert, the heavy oil wells, there's a longevity, 20, 30 years reserve life index as we're providing energy with enhanced recovery that's already planned here and that's being implemented. And also it has all the infrastructure in place. Whereas Brooks, we have to construct some of the facilities, and the lease needs to be built as well. So there's got a little bit more higher capital associated with it. And we have to get into enhanced recovery or improved recovery after a year as well. So the stage of depletion and the life expectancy, the heavy oil is a little bit ahead, and it's got a lot of longevity. And Brooks is the initial, so it's a superstar in my opinion. And we see all the things that we like, but it needs to have a little bit more development to it. So there's some context.
And Chris, how do we do in December? That's a question I've gotten from investors. They want to see how we're managing the winter this year because last winter was a little rough for us.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, all of Q4 weather was quite good here in Alberta and Saskatchewan. We've seen much higher temperatures than we did last year. We were hit with some cold weather a couple of weeks ago here, so that offsets it a little bit. But we published the exit rates for December already. We'll see that information come out in the annual financials when they're published. But we are seeing a continued reduction in operating costs through Q4. We've seen operating costs come down into $32, $33 per barrel overall on a total corporate basis, which is very attractive. Allows us to continue to generate positive cash flow, operating income for the business. We were offset with some higher, as I mentioned, some higher heavy to light differentials in December. It was about a $27 differential at that point. So that impacted our prices and brought it down. But as I mentioned, we're expecting to see that improve considerably as there's more offtake for heavy oil as we go forward with the Trans Mountain pipeline coming on.
Sam, your last press release in December said you achieved capacity of 2,200 barrels per day equivalent. Could you break that down? I've had some questions from investors saying, what specifically does that mean?
Well, we were drilling right up to December 25th, I recall. Is that when we released the last well, December 24th?
Pretty close, yeah, a couple of days before that, but almost right up to Christmas, and then tie-in activities after Christmas.
Yeah, so those wells, 2 or 3, even 4 of those horizontals were just coming on or weren't on. And that's the capability. And to finish drilling those wells, we had adjacent wells, vertical wells, and other injectors and whatnot was all shut in. So that's what we mean, the capacity, capability. And those are all being brought on slowly as well. And those horizontals are coming. And, we also, we put a lot of those wells on fairly quickly, and we had some good results. But still, we have to go back and do a clean out, some of those, the sand that comes in after 3 months as well. So we brought those wells down, and we do a clean out, so on and so on. So those wells were shut in or not brought on, and those are the differentials that we showed its capability. And those things are being optimized over this month and next month, because it's minus 60 at times here. Things are a little slower, but we budgeted for that, and our objective is to sustain 2,000 plus barrels a day, and our economics is built on that.
And so just to set investors' expectation, when should they expect to see that 2,000 plus barrels per day end of month, like by end of April, end of March, that they should actually see that in the, the Petra Ninja data?
Yeah, I think so. That's by end of March. We are conscious of that monthly average, not just peak rates. And that's a very good question, Bill, because we, restructured Prospera has been running on a shoestring capital budget, meaning experienced professionals to maintain sustainability in the field level. So now we have added VP of Operation, John McMahon. He's actually a CEO of another adjacent company. Very knowledgeable man with similar 40 years of experience. We also added Stephen Highgard, who is senior personnel with Husky in the adjacent area to optimize production. So all those experienced professionals, and there's a few more we have added, and we added a field foreman as well to start close that gap between capability and monthly average. And yes, you're right. In the month of March, we're approaching, and we should bridge that gap and have sustainability without much vibration in production.
So if all goes as planned, the company possibly could be looking at a 5,000 barrel per day producer. And Chris, what type of debt load would we be expecting to carry at that point if we achieve that at year-end 2024?
Well, Bill, as Sam talks about, we're planning on improving the current ratio of the company, improving the liquidity of the company, and its ability to continue as an ongoing concern. What we can expect to see is that Prospera is going to continue to reduce its current liabilities in the form of accounts payable and so on and so forth. The market's aware of the longer-term debt, the convertible debt that was extended last year, and some of the promissory notes that are on the balance sheet. But in terms of current liabilities, the company is focused on addressing those by end of 2024.
And then, Sam, the legacy arrears could potentially be wiped out by 2024, if I recall what you've said in the past.
That's our forecast, and our intention to be 90 days to turn around on payables. Less than 90 days.
Okay. And then, as you've told me in the past, Bill, I don't control the oil price. So the oil price obviously affects the company, but that's beyond any of our controls. And Chris, you mentioned the WCS differential, and I've seen headlines too. It's expected to tighten. So from that regard, hopefully we have some help. Anything you can say, Sam, more about the EOR, the Enhanced Oil Recovery, or also questions coming about Arduro with that partnership? Is that going to amount to something this year?
Arduro, we've been working with Arduro, and it's still in its innovation process, and they're fairly busy with some of the majors. Prospera is focused on what we do, what we can control. Now, enhanced oil recovery is what we do. The restructured management team, Prospera's management team, is a reservoir management background. geologically, geoseismically, and the reservoir. There's a lot of reservoir engineering here, and we have commenced a simulation of these fields, because we have a lot of technical parameters, legacy parameters, and we have in-house reservoir management, improved recovery methods, that's proven methods that we're looking into, that minimizes the capital outlay, and it is environmentally friendly, and it is conducive to the reservoirs architecture and conditions at hand. We're very excited about it, and we're going to be piloting them in the summer here.
Sam, regarding the acquisitions, you've said before publicly you can't talk too much about it because of the competitive nature of some of these deals, but can you set investors' expectation for when they might see an acquisition that could be accretive and substantially increase production? Like what quarter this year, maybe?
I'm hoping second quarter. There's already a letter of intent, and this is an amicable acquisitions. Both sides of the parties are excited, and it's strategic in a sense to improve our product mix into light oil, like 40 API condensate. It warrants very good price. It'll improve our margin, and we can anticipate the impact of that in latter part of the second quarter.
Excellent. Chris, any final thoughts that investors should know?
No, Bill, I agree. I think this is a year of transitioning to positive net income. We've seen positive operating income throughout 2023. You'll see that in the financial statements that are published later this year. We're looking forward to seeing positive net income for the full year, and expect that our Q1 financials will demonstrate that.
Prospera's website is prosperaenergy.com, ticker symbol in Toronto, PEI, and in the States, it's GXRFF. I've been an investor, like I said, for 18 months. They are a show sponsor. Gentlemen, thank you for coming on the show today and providing this update.
Thanks, Bill.